This is Terry Kurtz online reporting on Victor Valley, High Desert, and Mojave River Valley events, activities, entertainment, and history. We begin flashing back a decade past to entertainment events in High Desert history. The memories of Roy Rogers' sidekick Dale Gabby Park. This video from 2010 at the Double R Bar Ranch. John Barnes' trumpet heralded the celebration of scholarships awarded to 60 students at the Desert Valley Charitable Foundation banquet. Response surpassed the highest expectations at the inaugural Cowboy Campfire meeting at the Roy Rogers Double R Bar Ranch in Oro Grande, California. Dale Gabby Park served as host, putting trick horse Thunder and trained dog Nardo through their paces before smiling faces. The former actor, stuntman, and trainer for Roy Rogers' Thoroughbreds and Palominos, Sunday evenings Cowboy Campfire meetings are intended to be a prelude to greater plans for the ranch to establish a refuge and retreat for those seeking to reconnect with Western heritage and the wholesome values of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
It takes the burden off going to college and figuring out where I'm going to find the money to pay for school.
I want to say thank you to the organization that helped organize the scholarship event, and it's going to help me in my educational endeavor.
Typical and universal sentiments of recipients of Desert Valley Charitable Foundation Health Care Scholarships. John Barnes' trumpet heralded the celebration of scholarships awarded to 60 students at the Desert Valley Charitable Foundation banquet. Dr. Prem Reddy conveyed his story of growing up in a farming family in underdeveloped India, where there was no electricity nor running water.
The only thing you have to do is dream. You dream big and work hard at it.
Dr. Reddy pointed out to the scholarship recipients the two ingredients he found most important to his success: education and what this great nation offers, opportunity.
Equally important, if not more important, is the opportunity. This nation, this proud nation of immigrants, the most tolerant, the most powerful nation, all that opportunity that will provide. I was born in a farming family in a small village. Village means like there was no electricity or potable water. Till I was 17 years old, I was the first one in generations of my families, my father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, that ever went to school. I'm not talking about any school, elementary school. Nobody ever did.
Silverado High School graduate Rachel Lewis.
How does this scholarship help you with what you want to become?
It takes the burden off going to college and figuring out where I'm going to find the money to pay for school, and it's going to give me a stepping stone to where I want to achieve.
Nigerian-born Uchenna Ezedinna's career path has parallels to that of Dr. Reddy.
I think it really does impact a lot in my life, and I really appreciate the scholarship, and I want to say thank you to the organization that helped organize the scholarship event, and it's going to help me in my educational endeavor to become an anesthesiologist in the future.
Ezedinna came to the United States at age 18. Ezedinna is now in the Army, stationed at Fort Irwin.
Congratulations on the scholarship. Good luck with your career. Thanks for these comments.
Thank you, sir.
The criteria for a student to receive a scholarship: academic excellence in pursuit of a career in a health care or medical-related career. $100,000 in scholarships were handed out this year, the most in the Foundation's 16-year history. To qualify, a student must have excellent grades and be a resident of the High Desert. Luisa Garcia administrates the Charitable Foundation's scholarship program.
Oh, it's so great. I mean, I run into different situations, people's life, people's needs. I mean, I had one applicant that he wants to be one of those combat paramedic positions that jump off and take care of the people right there and then. I mean, it's so awesome about all these young kids that like all of that career, that they're hard times that they have to go through, you know, and we're so glad that we can help them.
Paul Monroe, Jeffrey, Rebecca Molina, Joseph Monroe, Jeremy Bowen.
Flashing back to headline makers years past, presented by Valu Quality Truck Bodies. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, family-owned and operated locally since 1954. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, proudly showcasing community programs throughout our high desert. TKOL is brought to you by We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. Bid fast and last, world-class auctioneers. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, family-owned and operated locally since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest-standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. Down Home Grill, 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, pickup, or to order ahead for dine-in. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, conference and convention center for the high desert, and favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. Our first two stories on this 2024 year in review involve situations from the bad and worst categories. How bad are Victorville drivers? How about second worst in the nation? Victorville motorists have been ranked the second worst in the entire nation in the latest Consumer Affairs study. The recent report published by Consumer Affairs looked at the latest available U.S. Department of Transportation and National Highway Traffic Safety Administration data and compared the rates of crashes involving factors such as bad driving, DUI, and speeding per 100,000 people in cities across the U.S. After analyzing each category, the study authors assigned each city a crash score. Well, with a score of 64, Victorville was surpassed only by Memphis, Tennessee at 77, according to the report. Victorville drivers are among the worst in the country, in part due to the high number of traffic deaths involving alcohol. In 2022, Victorville had the second highest number of fatalities involving a driver with a positive blood alcohol amount. Victorville also had the fifth highest number of fatalities linked to speeding. The city of San Bernardino followed behind Victorville at number 4 in having the worst drivers. According to the recent study, San Bernardino was the only other California city to make the dishonor roll this year. In the previous year's statistical analysis, Victorville ranked 7th and Hesperia drivers ranked 8th. In addition, the Consumer Affairs report stated the 15 freeway through San Bernardino County is the deadliest road in California. At the state level, California was ranked at 33rd in the nation. The 5 states with the worst drivers were Montana, followed by New Mexico, South Carolina, Wyoming, and Arkansas. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has received nearly $2 million in grants to support its ongoing enforcement and education programs and to upgrade alcohol testing instruments in the Sheriff's Crime Lab. The California Office of Traffic Safety awarded a $1,130,000 STEP grant to go towards supporting its ongoing enforcement and education programs that are aimed at helping reduce the number of serious injuries and deaths on our roads, motorists, their passengers, and pedestrians alike. An additional $660,722 grant was awarded, the funding to go to replacing outdated alcohol testing instruments, additional programs and resources including more DUI checkpoints, and patrols focused on stopping suspected impaired drivers. Funding for these programs was provided by a grant from the California Office of Traffic Safety through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Victorville is one of 3 cities in San Bernardino County that have been identified as leading areas in the state for the proliferation of unserialized firearms, or ghost guns. This alarming trend highlights the growing concern over untraceable firearms that are increasingly being used in criminal activities and used against law enforcement officers throughout the county. In the California Department of Justice's annual Crime Gun in California report, 168 ghost guns were confiscated in Victorville. San Bernardino's 319 ghost guns seized is 4th highest. Victorville's number is 8th. Fontana is 10th on the list. Ghost guns are firearms assembled from kits or 3D printed parts without serial numbers. They pose significant challenges for law enforcement agencies across the state because they bypass traditional legal firearms measures, making them nearly impossible to track. The surge in ghost guns has correlated with an increase in violent crimes within our county, including attempted murder of law enforcement officers. This special edition of TKOL, Top Stories of 2024, is brought to you by Down Home Grill. Call 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, or dine-in at Down Home Grill, corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road in Victorville. Bid fast and last. World-class auctioneers. Bid fast and last. Liquidation of government entities, vehicles, firearms, estates, antiques, fine jewelry, coins, and more. Bid online at bidfastandlast.com.
Ready to kick tires, start fires, kick ass, take names, and rock and roll.
Valu Quality Truck Bodies. Family owned and operated locally since 1954. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, proudly showcasing teams, athletes, and youth-oriented activities. The Bradco Companies. Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies. Bradco, leading efforts to improve the quality of life and standard of living for all residents throughout our high desert region.
Serious legal problems? Don't go alone. The other guys have attorneys just waiting to blow you away. Contact Iwanzak. Accidental death? Injured on the job? Contact Iwanzak. Law firm. Trial lawyers for serious problems.
We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery designs. We Got 'em official CIF sanctioned Chanel patches or varsity jackets. We Got 'em Tees, 2 locations, Apple Valley and Upland. Oh yeah, We Got 'em Tees. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. This special edition of TKOL, Top Stories of 2024, is brought to you by Down Home Grill. Call 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, or dine-in at Bid fast and last. World-class auctioneers. Valu Quality Truck Body. Family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest-standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Iwanzak Law Firm. Trial lawyers for serious problems. We Got 'em Tees. Your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, conference and convention center for the high desert and destination of choice of visitors and travelers to the Victor Valley. The Year in Review. Top stories of 2024 include the results of 2 San Bernardino County law enforcement operations, consequences, and smash and grab. Operation Consequences objectives are getting illegal firearms and illegal drugs off the streets and seeing to it that criminals responsible for both pay the consequences for their crimes. The operation's biggest drug bust took place the final week in November. In the biggest single-day seizure of drugs since Operation Consequences began a year ago, over 400 pounds of illegal narcotics were seized. In the joint operation conducted by investigators from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Gangs Narcotics Division, along with the Specialized Enforcement Division, deputies from patrol stations, Homeland Security Investigations, CHP, FBI, San Bernardino Police Department, Upland Police Department, and San Bernardino County Probation, 46 pounds of powdered fentanyl, 19 pounds of M30 marked fentanyl pills, 4 pounds of cocaine, 9 pounds of heroin, and 336 pounds of methamphetamine were taken off the streets. 19 felony arrests were made, and over 40 firearms were seized. In addition, $86,000 in U.S. currency was seized. As Consequences crackdowns continued, the total of felony arrests approached 1,500. Over 2,400 firearms have been confiscated, and drug seizures are staggering. 4 pounds of cocaine, 3,144 pounds of methamphetamine, 28 pounds of heroin, and 289 pounds of fentanyl have been seized. High desert locations have frequently been targeted for raids. In one operation involving Hesperia and Lucerne Valley locations, 22 felony arrests were made, 29 firearms were seized, 18 misdemeanor arrests were made, and 472 marijuana plants were recovered. And just this week, authorities raided a property on Honey Hill Road in Oak Hills and seized more than 90 pounds of marijuana, worth more than $100 million. Over the course of 2 days, the Marijuana Enforcement Team, San Bernardino County Code Enforcement, and California Fish and Wildlife Department seized 51 trucks of processed marijuana. The contraband was stored in a newly built metal building where over 3,000 trash bags were filled with processed marijuana, stacked over 12 feet high from end to end of the building. Operation Smash and Grab's latest operations include targeting the Victoria Gardens shopping center and retail stores in Apple Valley, Victorville, and Hesperia. Almost $7,000 in stolen goods was recovered. 12 felony arrests, 52 misdemeanor arrests were made, and stolen goods valued at $6,865.57 were recovered. The combined results of smash and grab operations over the past year bring to a total 185 felons arrested, 441 misdemeanor arrests made, and recovery of $218,562.11 in property. Operation Smash and Grab partners the Sheriff's Department with the California Highway Patrol and local law enforcement agencies to combat retail theft by placing undercover personnel at malls and retail centers. The tactics include establishing close contact with loss prevention managers in stores who alert investigators directly to target crimes in progress. Sheriff's Department personnel monitor parking lots surrounding the businesses, and a vehicle equipped with an automated license reader is deployed to detect stolen vehicles and vehicles associated with ongoing criminal investigations.
This special edition of TKOL,
Top Stories of 2024,
is brought to you by Down Home Grill. Call 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, or dine-in at
So,
Bid Fast and Less, world-class auctioneers. Solid quality truck body, family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Zach Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. We got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, the Holiday Inn, conference and convention center for the high desert and destination of choice of visitors and travelers to the Victor Valley. The Victor Valley Community Services Council is offering free mobility devices. Do you know a senior in need of a mobility device? The Victor Valley Community Services Council provides free wheelchairs, walkers, bedside commodes, canes, and more to those who qualify. The agency recently received a generous donation of wheelchairs from High Desert Second Chance. For more information, please call 760-243-9646. The Bureau of Land Management has awarded 2 grants totaling almost $5 million to accelerate the training and placement of excess wild horses and burros into private care. These grants are part of the BLM's efforts to encourage more adopters to give a wild horse or burro a good home. The Adoption Incentive Program provides up to $1,000 to adopt an untrained wild horse or burro from the BLM. The goal of the program is to reduce BLM's recurring costs to care for unadopted and untrained wild horses and burros, while helping to enable the BLM to confront a growing overpopulation of wild horses and burros on fragile public rangelands. Thanks to its Adoption Incentive Program and the online corral, the BLM has doubled the rate of private care placement over the last 5 years. Vouchers are now available to have dogs or cats spayed or neutered. Residents with dogs or cats in San Bernardino County's unincorporated communities can request a voucher for $50 towards spaying and neutering. To request a voucher, call the Pet Overpopulation Coalition at 888-767-2550 or email the address shown. Your help is being sought to clear our San Bernardino County shelters by adopting, not shopping. If you are looking for a new four-legged friend, the First District is home to several animal shelters with dogs and cats in need of loving homes. The Board of Supervisors recently approved funding toward reduced pet adoption fees at the Big Bear and Devore animal shelters through June of 2024. Cats are now $10 and dogs are $20. This includes spaying, neutering, microchip, and most vaccines. Other local shelters include the Hesperia Animal Shelter on Santa Fe Avenue and the Apple Valley Animal Shelter on Powhatan Road. The Apple Valley Animal Shelter Rescue Team regularly posts photos of animals ready for adoption. For more information, please call 760-240-7555. San Bernardino County birth and death certificates are now available online. San Bernardino County's Vital Statistics Registration Office has launched a new service that allows residents to purchase certified copies of birth and death certificates online. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports Activity, your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV, 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. On this special edition of TKOL, the Year in Review. Top stories of 2024 included reports on unprecedented weather extremes, the region's most destructive wildfire, and highest magnitude earthquake since 1992. Mountain communities were confronted with disastrous situations and emergency operations on 2 fronts. Wrightwood took the full brunt of severe weather when February's wind-whipped atmospheric snowstorm stranded hundreds of residents and forced closure of roads in and out of the mountain community for several days. The San Bernardino National Forest closure of forest system roads to vehicles remains in effect through the end of June. 11 weeks later, mountain community residents were forced to evacuate when the bridge fire broke out. The late summer bridge fire prompted an unprecedented number of evacuations in the mountain communities while destroying more than 30 homes and scorching over 56,000 acres. The bridge fire combined with the line fire to destroy 20 homes in the Mount Baldy area and another 13 in the Wrightwood area. 6 cabins were also destroyed. Our summer of 2024 was officially California's hottest summer ever, or at least in the last 130 years. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration records go back that far. Not only did many Southern California locations record their hottest temperature on record, 134 in Death Valley, 124 in Palm Springs, but temperatures exceeding 100 degrees for 45 straight days in some locales, the longest hot streak since 2017's 72 days. Our area's hottest summer on record has been accompanied by a series of earthquakes, jarring jolts, and rolling aftershocks felt throughout the greater Southland. The largest earthquake at the time of this report, a 5.2, with its epicenter about 20 miles south of Bakersfield. That's the strongest earthquake in California in 3 years. Aftershocks of that August 6th temblor registered seismic readings in the 4.0 magnitude that continued to prompt reactions from folks across the Victor Valley. That 7.0 earthquake off the northern California coast on December 5th became the quake with the highest Richter scale reading in the Golden State since a 7.2 in 1992. A case of baking the books or cooking the books by an Orange County tax preparer who resides in Victorville is another of our top stories of 2024. That former Orange County tax preparer from Victorville has finally been sentenced on tax fraud charges. Stephen Jake McGonigal was sentenced to 120 months in federal prison for leading multi-year tax fraud conspiracies across 3 countries, which claimed more than $10 million from the IRS and dozens of state tax authorities in fraudulent tax refunds. The 67-year-old Victorville resident was sentenced in U.S. District Court to pay over $1.5 million in restitution. McGonigal had been found guilty in November of 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. McGonigal recruited others to help convince the IRS and dozens of state governments to issue millions of dollars in fraudulent tax refunds. To perpetrate the massive fraud that began in 2013 and lasted until McGonigal's arrest in 2019, McGonigal sent 1 co-conspirator to Thailand to obtain fake identification documents that used stolen victim identities and then filed fraudulent tax returns using the identity theft victims' Social Security numbers. Prosecutors have secured guilty pleas from 2 co-defendants who are also scheduled to be sentenced in the coming months. That concludes this chapter in our top stories of 2024 recaps.
This special edition of TKOL,
Top Stories of 2024,
is brought to you by
We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. Bid fast and last, world-class auctioneers. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, family owned and operated locally since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest-standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Zach Law Firm. Trial lawyers for serious problems. Down Home Grill. 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, pickup, or to order ahead for dine-in. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville. Conference and Convention Center for the High Desert. And favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. That's a wrap on this edition of Terry Kurtz Online. On behalf of Victor Valley Television Productions, thank you for watching. Blackbird.